Alright, so I'm Vaniv, and this is a any percent tutorial for Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Let's just get right into it here. I'm going to try and keep this relatively brief, but we'll see. So this is the boat. Start mashing attack right away. And these guys need 3 attacks. I'll just explain what I did there. So they need 3 attacks to die, and on the 3rd one you want to animation cancel, which just means hitting block after you kill them. I'll just do it again on this guy. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then hit block like that to cancel the animation faster. So I actually don't know if killing that enemy messes this up, so I'm just gonna restart it here. Doesn't take that long. Alright, so and then after you kill the 2 guys there, you want to roll into the cutscene so that the next guy sees you right away. So we're gonna start mashing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Because you hit that guy before. And then I usually do a block roll hit, and then hit him one more time and he dies. Another 3 hits on that guy. And killed this guy, same thing, oops. And then you want to grab one of these weapons. And this is actually perfect. So you want to grab the axe, or you can grab, see if I can show you the other weapon. Oh, that guy has it. This weapon right here. That sword to my right. Not the other one. The little, like, butter knife over there. That one's not powerful enough, so don't grab that one. Alright. So it was obviously sloppy, but it's not really that important. You'll get better at that as you do more runs. So here you can do side rolls to speed this up. It's kind of hard. I'll try and show it off here, because you need to go around this corner. So you want to just keep side rolling, then kind of turn this corner, and that's why it's hard. If you mess them up like I did, then you either want to do backflips down this hallway, or roll if you're far enough away from the enemies. So as soon as this cutscene's over, you can side roll to the left, like that, and then do usually 2 backflips with a better angle towards this. Up over it, and then continue up here. I'm not gonna get into detail with the like movement and stuff, because this is mainly just to show off the new zips. So let me explain this before we start this. So to kill her, you're gonna do secondary counters, which is just hold block, and then when she hits you, you press the secondary attack, not the primary, to do a counter, which does an insane amount of damage if you have the axe or that other sword that I mentioned. So you're going to do one of those, and then after you hit her, you want to wait a little bit, because if you do it too soon, you'll do a block roll towards her. So wait a little bit, and then vault over her and attack her twice with the primary, and then you just sort of rinse and repeat that until she's dead. I'll show you here. So secondary counter, wait a little bit, jump, 2 attacks. That's the first phase. And another secondary counter, wait a little bit, jump, and then the mashing starts. And then you do one more counter, and she's dead.
It seems the Empress overestimated your abilities.
The Empress?
Or not dead, but it ends the fight. Alright, so from here until I get the recall power, I'll just kind of show off the consistent stuff that like everyone does. There's a couple better things you can do, but they're really hard. I probably won't. I might mention them, but I won't like go into how to do them. That's a little skip there. You can wall run up there instead of going all the way over there.
And she will pay.
I'm gonna roll into this cutscene a little faster. And don't aim towards that pole, because he'll jump to it, which is not fun. There's a skip you can do here where you jump like on the corner of that, and you can, I guess I'll try it. I can usually get it. No, I didn't get it. More time. There we go, like that. That saves like maybe a second. It's not really worth it, but it's a thing. You just follow my movements here. You want to wall run up this wall. Just skip going to that other pole. And then here I like to set up side rolls. So what I do is I go into landscape so you can move directly left. And then take out your weapons, and then when you're in line with that hole, then you can start side rolls.
He's the one the Empress wants dead.
And don't do that. And here you can set up side rolls again by slashing your sword on the wall. And as soon as you jump, you just need to move that way, and then you can start side rolls up here. It's just because of the enemies, because walking with enemies around is really, really slow. Alright, we watched this cutscene, which is actually pretty long.
Come on. I know you're out there. Show yourself. Where I come from, we face our opponents. And if our enemy is unarmed, we offer them a sword.
Okay, so after this cutscene, there's two things you can do. You can either throw the secondary if you don't want to do a certain zip, or you can jump over the enemy if you do want to do it, and I'll explain what that is later. I recommend keeping it, so I'm pretty sure doing the zip I'm talking about is overall faster, especially if you're not going to do the RNG 58 we call it. So you can get out of those enemies just like that, some backflips and side rolls. And here you can do a little angled jump to speed it up. Like as soon as you reach the end, just kind of jump towards that way instead of directly straight. Do that again because that was bad. You just go like that and get over here. You can actually angle that too much and the camera makes you jump the wrong direction, but yeah, you can't really control that from happening. Alright, so this guy, you're just going to completely ignore him. Just do side rolls to get past him nice and quick. And then, I keep doing that. Get in this corner and go in landscape. And you want to be like right in the corner. And show you a nice setup if you're having trouble is to hang off here. Get up and then hold forward and he'll be in the exact position. But you can get here without without hanging off that ledge. But yeah, when you get here, just hold forward and then do a max wall run and then jump up here. And if it's not self-explanatory, a max wall run is just jumping at the very height of the wall run. It usually means hitting it while he's in the flip animation, so he does that little flip. You can see like when I hit spacebar, he just started it and then I jumped out of it. That's usually what a max wall run is. So you can jump to this curtain, but if you don't want to do that because you're scared of dying, you will lose the weapon if you die here. Then just wall run to it, but you can jump to it pretty easily.
He's the one the Empress wants dead.
And get up here. There's another camera's being annoying. There's another skip you can do here over to my right there, but I'm not even gonna show it off because I can't do it. Watch Catalyst's world record if you want to do that. This guy sometimes doesn't notice you, and you can just walk right past him. But if he does, then you need to vault over him like I just did. Yeah, so here we're going to do a little skip. You can stop your wall run about halfway to grab the ledge. And you don't need to kill him, by the way. I just did that so he wouldn't be in my way as I explain this. So you're going to start wall running, and then roughly halfway you want to let go, and he'll grab the ledge a bit early. And we can set up side rolls here again, just like so. And this is where we get the recall ability. Alright, so we have the recall ability now. Now we can actually start going fast. So the basis of this whole run is using one glitch called zipping, which is overloading the rewind system. So the game's rewind system can only handle a certain number of inputs before it starts accessing memory it's not normally supposed to access. And when that happens, the game decides to exaggerate your animations for some reason, and it also ignores collision because you're rewinding, and conveniently still hits load triggers. So those three things make this extremely broken. So if you do any input, you could do like slash your sword, and then you would have blocking bounded to mouse wheel back, so you can scroll backwards on the mouse wheel and spam block really quickly like I'm doing right now. And then you have move forward bounded to scroll forward, like that. And this allows you to do inputs much quicker than it would be to like mash the keyboard like this, or spam block manually. You can't do it fast enough. You can get like one zip by spamming it manually. Like if I did that and then I started spamming block. And I get like one zip like that, but it's not fast enough to do the zips we do in the route. That's why we need to use the mouse wheel. So the pattern at which you do it doesn't really matter. It just matters that you get enough inputs to actually zip it, which is around 25, I think. What I usually do is I do like 2 scrolls backwards and then 1 forwards. If you need a bit more, you might want to do like 3 backwards, 2, 3, and go forwards. Yeah, and one more thing to note about the inputs is you can do too much, although it's kind of rare. But I'll just show you here. If I try and like do a block roll, then I spam like way too many inputs, then it'll further break the rewind system, and he just won't zip at all. He'll just stand still. So yeah, don't do like way too many. So yeah, so I'll just show you that again, correctly done. So 2 back, forward, and then it gets exaggerated, like so. And also make sure you're moving forward when you start the rewind, because if you're blocking and you try and rewind, it won't work, because there's other powers you get that activate that way. So that's why I always say to end it with scroll forward, so the rewind never gets eaten. Alright, so we'll start zipping over here. So this is the first zip, and it's actually like one of the harder ones. If you want to do it the easy way, I guess I'll show both ways. Just line up in the middle, do backplate, reset camera, and then you would do block roll, wait a bit so he doesn't bounce off the wall, and then 2 rolls like that. Show that one more time. Make sure you wait a bit, because if you don't, he'll do that, which you don't want. So block roll, wait, roll, roll, and then you would spam your inputs right against this wall. But the faster way, which involves doing manual steps to get the correct distance, you want to line up here, make sure you're on the furthest right side of this wall, then do your backflip, and then you want to move to the left around 2 seconds. So I usually go like 1, 2, like that. And it's about the same time that he automatically stops against the wall anyway. So 1, 2, and then reset the camera again, and then move forward around halfway, and then start your block roll, roll, roll. So all the extra stuff before the block roll, double roll, is to zip a little bit of extra distance right into the room that we want to be in. Line up like so. 1, 2, roll. Go. That should work. And you can do inputs right against that wall. It doesn't block you. And I was a little too short, but you saw the room there. I'll try it again.
It seems I've discovered one of the time-traveling portals the old man spoke of.
Just like that. And you can get into this room. Yeah, I just barely made it in there. It can be kind of annoying to do, but it's pretty fast. Skips the other zip. I'll just die again here to show you the slower way, but much easier.
It seems I've discovered one of the time-traveling portals.
You line up against this wall, just right in the middle. Do backflip, and then you just do the block roll, roll, roll. And as soon as you see the second load trigger hit, that's 1 and then 2, then you can let go. And you'll end up right about here, and then you just want to block roll right towards this wall, which is not precise at all. Block roll like so, and then zip that. And you'll get into this room right here. Alright, so when you get here, whether you used 1 sand or 2 sands, you want to drink from this fountain to save a checkpoint. And instead of waiting all the way until the save prompt, you can speed this up a little bit by rewinding after he takes the second sip. So you want to drink, 2, and then you can rewind. And then go die. Doing that little rewind off the fountain is only like a second faster, so if you find you're doing it and you're not getting the checkpoint, just drink fully and say no to saving. Okay, so that little thing I did off the wall, by the way, you can do that by hitting secondary and primary right after. So you just go like that, and he does that little fall slightly faster. Alright, and then we're going to do a drop glitch zip here. So I'm going to line up right in this corner and face right about here on the left wall. I use those lines as a guide. And then turn around, you're going to throw your weapon and then do 3 backflips and let him like throw it automatically. Just hold the throw until he throws it himself. And then you want to make sure you rewind fully enough so you have enough animation in the zip to drop down without dying. And then make sure to keep holding the throw after you zip. So you're gonna... I lost the aim. You're gonna throw it. 1, 2, 3. Do your inputs. And then you can just buffer holding the throw weapon right now. And then the camera moves a little sideways, and then you can let go. And you end up right about here. The load trigger is right here that you need to hit. If you want to do something called RNG 58, then you want to zip a little further back. So you want to aim like a little further to the right. So you land here, and then you can do this like rewind thing that you need to do. I don't really understand it because I don't do it. But at any rate, you want to continue over here. Then go get this checkpoint. If you have a sand, you can use it to rewind back. But if you don't, it's faster just to run back. Don't take a sand from that or anything. Just run back and die. Or again, if you already have a sand like I do here, then rewind back. Then you should have this checkpoint stored. And then you need to die 2 more times to turn into the sand wraith. Alright, so now that we're the Sand Wraith, we have unlimited sands. They'll keep regenerating. That's why we want to turn into it, basically. So you're going to come right to this back wall, and then you can just do jump and triple backflip. And something to note about jumping, whenever you don't have your weapons out and you want to do a jump, you can take your weapons out in the air, sort of, just by hitting the throw weapon button followed by jump, and he'll kind of take them out as he jumps. That's the fastest way, because you want the weapons out to start the backflips, obviously. But you don't want to waste time like taking it out and then jumping, so you can just do them at the same time. Alright, so jump, triple backflip, and zip all that. And for jump zips, make sure you don't rewind too much, because you can still die from fall damage. So you saw like I ended up like right here. That's because I released at the right time. But if you release a little later, you'll be like really high and then you'll fall down and not die. If you release even later, then you'll actually die when you come down here, which is not good. Alright, so walk next to this fountain and that platform should disappear. If it doesn't, that means your run is over, because the triggers decided to not be friendly and they just didn't work. Nothing you can really do about it. So yeah, you can jump to this or just wall run. And stand about here and you can do jump, backflip, jump. And again, make sure you release at the correct time, or otherwise you'll die from fall damage. And even though I did a second jump in there, you might think I would die regardless because I'm going so high. But the fall damage only matters for the first jump you did in your inputs, because it thinks you're on level ground when you do that last zipped jump. So as long as you release on the correct time on the last jump, you're fine. Continue casually. Actually, there's something to talk about there, which I discovered kind of recently. Sometimes when you go over here, he doesn't land in a block roll. Let's see if he does it. Yeah, like that, if I just don't move at all. Even if you're holding forward, sometimes he won't land in a block roll. But a way to make sure that he does is by, right before you land, then hold down left. On the keyboard, it would be left and down, using controller, then just down left. So right before he lands, hold that, and then he should always do a block roll. Alright, and then we're gonna hang off this for a bit. You can use attacks like this, do like 3 of them, to make sure you wait long enough. It's a pretty nice strat by Kata. So yeah, just come down here, you can just do like 3 attacks, and then fall off, and zip that curtain animation. You want to make sure you zip it all the way to where you were holding onto that ledge. You should land right here. Then roll over and get this sword, which you need to get not because we attack with the sword at all, but because it changes what your secondary damage does, which we need a secondary. I'm gonna jump back up right here. Really easy zip just to jump. And then you can usually start side rolls here, unless the enemies get in your way like they did for me. Alright, so for here you want to stand right past that line that's behind me. It's not precise at all, but just to make sure you hit the load that's above you. And do a jump, block roll, jump. And you'll land right about here, and you'll hit a load trigger right there. But more importantly, you need to hit a story gate, which is the story gate 60 that we need to hit down here. And the way to hit it is to wall run off that little bit of wall to my left. You want to kind of do that little maneuver. And that was actually a fail. I need to land on the other side. Like that. You need to bounce off the left side of that plank. If you fall on the other side like I did, it won't hit the story gate. Alright, and then just roll into this corner. Just ignore these enemies and get in this corner and they should go away. And then just do a jump. And you can either do like forward steps, you can like go like that to kind of get the distance, but I like to do an awkward, which is just the parry animation, like that. Do a jump, awkward. And oops. That's what happens if you don't rewind long enough. Which is also possible. If you don't rewind long enough, you won't zip the jump. Here we are. You should get right up here. And the area to your right over here is not loaded yet, so you need to do side rolls over here to load it, and then you can just continue side rolls right back without bouncing off the wall like I am. Then you can do this little Dahaka chase without the Dahaka. That thing I did is a safety fall. It's not needed there. It's just a little faster than bouncing off the wall normally. All you do is just hit secondary and then jump, and you'll do that little attack off the wall, which we call a safety fall. It's called that because it allows you to fall from a higher height, which I'll use up here in a second actually. Alright, so you would jump here and face straight, and then you're just going to do a jump roll to skip a really small cutscene and movement, so it ends up still being faster, even though it's not very far that you're zipping. And right here is where we're going to do that safety fall. You want to wall run, and then at the lowest part of your wall run, it's not too precise, but when you lost a bit of height, then you want to do that safety fall. So fall down, safety fall, and then you won't die. Then you can jump that. Can be kind of annoying. Try one more time. I got in a weird position when I did my safety fall. That's still a weird position. There we go. If you fail that the first time, it's really hard to do it after, because the enemies are in your way. So I recommend if you fail it once, just wall run normally. But yeah, so get over here and then you can bounce off the wall here to get up here. A little faster than using the ledges.
Careful.
And then we're going to backflip into the room with the light sword, which I usually use this little texture on the floor right where his left foot is. And you want to be straight with a slight angle to the left, so you're going to zip more over in that direction, but not that severe angle. It's very slight, like that. And you should land right in this room. If you don't angle it a little bit, then you'll end up outside this room, and then you'll have to do an extra zip to get in here. So break this, grab the light sword, because it's really OP. And then start side rolls again. Sorry about the lag. I'm going to do this zip here, which is pretty difficult, I would say. Not usually because you don't make it, but because you can miss a load trigger, which wastes time. But yeah, the inputs are, well, you want everything to be like straight. When you do a block roll, then you're going to do a side roll. You kind of need to move the camera as you do it. But you want to do block roll, attack, and then side roll, block roll, side roll. That. And then zip all that. And if you do it correctly, that will happen. You saw the floor got deloaded. That means I hit the appropriate load trigger. If you don't see the floor deload, then what you need to do is backtrack over here. I believe it's like on the end of this, so I usually roll like that, and then you can rewind back. But if you saw it deload, then just continue on. And do a roll right from this wall. And then we're gonna do this zip, which is kind of weird. It's zipping a jump off the wall. You're gonna jump off the wall like that, and you're gonna zip the very end of that animation. So the release timing is like as soon as you start zipping, you need to let go. So jump off and start your inputs. And then as soon as you start zipping, let go. Like that. If you don't make it, it's probably because you waited too long. It's very sudden. The release timing is like almost immediately after you start zipping. So here you want to start the trap cycles a little early because you don't have enough health to just side roll through them without dying. So what you do is you walk next to this to start the trap cycle, and then you hit the switch, and it sets you off on a nice cycle to avoid these traps. If you're fast enough. I got hit there, and I got hit again. I did a block roll by mistake, so my speed was messed up. But normally that'll be fine. You can just go right through. Okay, so from here we're going to continue. There is a zip you can do off this ledge, but I don't think I'll show it off because I can't do it very well anyway. If you want to see that zip, check out Catalyst's channel. He'll have it there. But yeah, the easier way to do this is just to continue over here and do a jump, which you need to do at like the very edge of this, or otherwise you won't make it. So jump here, and you should grab that. If you don't, you didn't jump from far enough towards the ledge. And then jump over here, fall down, and hang off this and jump, and rewind after you hit that platform. And that deloads a cutscene. Then we can come down here, and normally there'd be a cutscene here, but since we did that jump, it prevents it from loading. Okay, so and then we're gonna do a zip here, which you can either line up off of this, like so, and do it here, but I prefer to do it from back here. I find it works better for me. But try a couple different positions, see what's better for you. But the inputs are jump, roll, sword slash, jump slash, block roll slash. A lot of inputs. And that's what it looks like if you do it incorrect. I did that on purpose just to show you. Get back. Okay. This area needs to deload. If it doesn't, like it just did for me, then you missed the load. There we go. See, the area was deloaded, and then I know I hit the load, so I'm safe to continue. So jump to here. You can just fall down and rewind to hit this load trigger, which is like 4 seconds faster, but it has a chance to break the story gate, and then you can't finish the run. So a safer way is just to climb down all the way to when you're hanging off this ledge, and then get back up. And then right across this threshold, you should hit Storygate 64. And you can make that cycle there. All enough of that. And then you can just tap and do a safety fall. And you should break that. You do actually want to like break that because we're going to do a zip. And if you don't break it, then you would have to break it manually anyway. So try and time your safety fall so that you land on top of that furniture item, like so. I actually messed it up. Good job. So you want to come in this corner, and we're going to do block roll, side roll. Do them first. And then backflip, and then I usually spin the camera around, because they need to be facing straight. And then do one more side roll. And if you do it correctly, everything should deload around you. Block roll, side, oops. That might not work. I think I might have fixed it with the camera movement there. Oh yeah, it's fine. That's what it looks like when you get it correctly. This area should be loaded. And the reason why we do all that, you can just zip here pretty easily directly, but that wall prevents you from hitting the load trigger. So you would need to do another zip to hit it. That's why you do all that fancy movement to hit it during the zip. And you can start side rolls here. And then right about here, just stop for a second and then zip a side roll. Very easy zip and precise. Lots of room to land over there. And then right about halfway on these stairs, you want to stop while run up there to line up straight. And then you're going to do this crazy zip, which involves 3 side rolls. I'll just go over the inputs first. So you're going to want to start off with a jump. You don't necessarily need the jump, but how can I explain this? If your jump slash doesn't go high enough, then the jump can save you if you do the zip quickly enough. So I hope that made sense. But I find most times you don't have enough time to even zip the jump, but I just do it anyway in case I do. So jump, and then you're going to do 3 side rolls. No, actually kind of too far up there. Jump, and then 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to do the jump slash, which needs to be delayed right about where his head is. Kind of just go like that. I use his secondary arm, sorry. Look at his secondary arm, and when that reaches his head, then hit the sword slash, like so. And then after that, do 2 backflips, and that thing is loaded. Do 2 backflips, and then a kick. And then zip all of that. You can see it's a pretty crazy zip because there's a lot of inputs. You need to do it very quickly. That thing is usually not loaded if you zip at the correct spot earlier. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you do it incorrectly. See, it didn't have enough height. Just barely didn't have enough height. So if I did my inputs quickly enough, that's when the jump can save you. But yeah, I just gotta let myself die. Then I can try this again. Alright, so try this. I'm gonna jump, 3 side rolls, jump slash, double backflip kick. Then do your inputs as fast as you possibly can, because you need all the zipping time in the world for this. And you should land right about here. So you see I didn't even zip the jump, and I had enough height, so it worked out. But I always do the jump just in case I get that one off where I do inputs insanely fast. Alright, and then you want to save the game here. Don't worry about my health, I just loaded a true ending save. You want to save the game and then either force crash the game with the Warrior Within killer that we have, or just quit it manually. The game will crash on its own. Okay, so once you load your save back up, you should be the regular prince again. If you're not, then something went wrong with your story gates, and your run is basically over. If you're still the sand wraith, we call it glue, because the mask is stuck on your face. Hilarious. Alright, so we take this portal, and then we have 3 sands for the rest of the game here, which means we can do 2 zips, and then we need to save 1 for the final fight. So let me take a save here, actually, because I might want to show this again. So we use the first sand for a zip right here. Just line up and do a jump backflip, really easy. If you see the area deload, then you know you're good to just side roll immediately for the second zip. If it didn't deload, then you might want to walk backwards a bit because you might miss the load trigger. Yeah, so and then you want to just side roll down that way with a slight angle to the right to land on the platform, like so, and then walk to the end here. It doesn't really matter if you have your weapons put away or not, but I prefer to have them put away. I think it depends how fast you mash. But yeah, if you're having trouble with the first phase here on Kylina, where she just keeps attacking you right away, try putting the weapons away before you start the fight. Yeah, this is the final fight now. We can't skip it with zipping, unfortunately, so we have to actually fight her. The first phase is really easy. We're just gonna start mashing secondary to attack with the light sword. That's the only thing you'll use to attack because it's really powerful. So just keep mashing secondary, and then you're gonna hit her 3 times, and then start mashing again. She'll block it, move a little bit to the right, and then you'll hit her 2 more times, and that'll end the first phase. Let's see if I can do it here.
Then I choose to live, and for you to die.
3, she blocks, move, 1, 2, just like that. You don't need to move very much, just a little bit. Just dodges her attack. Okay, so for the second phase, what I like to do, I'm pretty sure people do different things, but what I like to do is mash forward and secondary together. So I'm mashing both of them at the same time. And then that'll start the second attack. You just keep doing secondaries and dodging until she starts the mashing phase, basically, and then you fail that on purpose, and that's when you start slow-mo. So I think I'll show that part, and then I'll wait and do the next part.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. If you just let me explain.
No more words, Prince. If you've only things to say.
So mash forward and secondary.
I'm sorry.
After I hit her, I just mash secondary. Then she'll block at some point, dodge until she does that, and then slow-mo. See if I can do it, but I'll probably explain it more in a second.
I will kill you!
I do not want to hurt you, Kylina, but I cannot allow that to happen.
Alright, so that was triple skip. I'll load the save to show it again. Last part, it can be really tricky. What I did there is you want to continue attacking her in slow-mo until you get her down to 2 hits, which is pretty easy to tell looking at her health meter, or you can count attacks. I can't remember how many it is though. Just figure that out by yourself if you want to count attacks instead of looking at the health meter. And then you need to vault over her at the correct time so that you interrupt her like transition into the tornadoes or whatever. I don't know exactly how it works, but you basically just need to jump on her right before the cutscene starts so that you're in front of her when the cutscene triggers. If you're vaulting over her when the cutscene triggers, then you're probably too late. And if you didn't start the jump, obviously you're too early.
Think you've seen in the timeline.
Then you know I have no choice.
There is always a choice, Kylina.
Then I choose to live, and for you to
Mash
die.
secondary. Block. Dodge. She can block more on that phase sometimes. You just gotta keep dodging and hitting until she doesn't block. And if you're really unlucky, she'll start the teleporting attacks. There's nothing you can do about that. You just gotta keep blocking and wait until she stops.
No more words, Prince. If you've only things to say and nothing to show, then let
Right, forward and attack. Mash both. Block. Mashing, fail it. Slow-mo. Then keep attacking. If she locks, I usually just do the dodge maneuver again. Keep going until she's like 2 hits away. Then jump. I was too early there. It might still work if you get lucky. Just keep mashing forward and attack. And I did get it. I got lucky that time, but I was a bit early. I'll show this one more time because this fight is pretty tricky. And also, if I can get it 3 times in a row, that would be really hype. For my consistency with this is usually not this good. On the last phase too, when you do the 2 hits to actually kill her, I usually mash forward and attack as well. Because she can sometimes be far away. That's the reason for it. So if she is far away, it'll force the prince to kind of do a lunging attack, and instead of just attacking the air and missing her.
I know what you've seen, what you think you've seen in the timeline.
Then you know I have no choice.
There is always a choice, Kylina.
Then I choose to live, and for you to die.
Don't you see? We can change our fate. This isn't what happened the first time we fought.
I won't talk this time, I'll just let you see it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. If you just let me
No more
explain.
words, Prince. If you've only things to say and nothing to show, then let us finish
I'm
this.
sorry.
Ah, you block rolled. Not sure why that happened. I think my position was a bit off.
Not allow that to happen.
And I still get it. It shows off how weird this can be. No matter what happens on the last phase, keep attacking anyway, because there's a chance it'll just work like it did for me there.
Saved yourself, it seems, my prince. But still, I become sad.
Yeah, so that was Warrior Within 80%.
Others like
Pretty
the
short run.
Persia,
Hope
braggarts,
this helped.
fools who will quest for the sands.
If you want more help, check out speedrun.com.
Vengeance
Warrior Within page, there's a lot of stuff there.
once
And you can also join the Discord, which other runners can help you out. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.